Can you solve this circuit challenge question? Give it a try, lock your answer in the comments below, and keep watching to see the step-by-step solution. There may be easier methods, but I'm going to present the mesh analysis technique this time, because it's a good opportunity to demonstrate the concept of a super mesh. Let's label the meshes 1, 2, 3, and 4. The mesh analysis technique basically entails writing KVL equations for each closed loop. It's gonna be tricky for me to show you the loops on the circuit diagram because it's already compact enough. But let's agree on something. I'm gonna stick to the clockwise direction for all the loops, and I strongly suggest you do the same. Agreed? Let's get started. Mesh 1. We have the voltage drop across this 5 ohm resistor, that's 5I1. We keep moving clockwise. We reach this 2 ohm resistor. Whenever you have a resistor common to two meshes, you have to use a difference of currents. And it always goes like this: your mesh minus any other common loops. In this case, our mesh is 1, and this resistor is common to mesh 2 as well. So we have 2 times I1 minus I2. Similarly, for this resistor over there, we'll have 1 times I1 minus I3. We're done, so this must be equal to 0 by KVL. Let's expand, add like terms, and this gives us the equation for mesh 1. Good. Now, how do we write the equation for mesh 2? Because we see this current source hanging in the middle, and this is causing us some trouble. This is where the concept of a super mesh comes into play. We will treat meshes 2 and 3 as a single mesh and write a KVL equation for the overall loop, ignoring the current source for now. And then we'll invoke the super mesh condition. You'll see what I mean later on. Let's go in the clockwise direction for this big mesh, 2/3. We'll start with the 2 ohm resistor. This will be 2 times I2 minus I1. Remember, your mesh minus other common meshes. We keep going. We have negative Ix because we're entering the negative terminal as we go clockwise. And then we have 3 times Ix. Let's call the current Ix for now because it's labeled on the circuit. And then we have negative 3, again because we're entering the negative terminal of the supply. And finally we have plus 5 because we're entering the positive terminal of the supply this time. We can already do some simplifications. Negative 3 plus 5 is positive 2. Negative Ix plus 3Ix is positive 2Ix. Finally, we have this 1 ohm resistor. The voltage is 1 times I3, our mesh, minus I1. Good. Let's clean up. We'll expand, group like terms, and we get the following equation. But this is not ready yet because we see Ix in this equation and we only want to see 3 unknowns, I1, I2, and I3, so that it has the same form as the equation for mesh 1. We can actually do this by noting the fact that Ix is the difference between I2 and I4. Look at the circuit and draw the 2 clockwise loops for meshes 2 and 4. You'll see that Ix agrees with I2 in direction, but I4 opposes Ix. So Ix must be I2 minus I4. Maybe tricky to see without me drawing it, but I hope you can still follow through. Replacing Ix by I2 minus I4, the equation becomes the following. But we can simplify this further because I4 is clearly negative 2 amperes. Negative because it's the clockwise direction, remember, which is opposite to the direction of the 2 ampere source at the top of the circuit. If we replace I4 by negative 2, we get the following modified equation for the supermesh 2, 3. And now we invoke the supermesh equation to get the third and final equation required to solve for the currents. Notice that the 1 ampere source hanging in the middle, which we ignored earlier, is I3 minus I2. Because, again, if you trace the clockwise loops, I3 agrees with the 1 ampere source, whereas I2 opposes it. So this 1 ampere must be the difference between I3 and I2. With that, we have 3 equations with 3 unknowns, and we can solve them using any method. Substitution, elimination, Kramer's rule if you want to be fancy, anything. We get this result. What was the question again? It was to find Ix. From the circuit, remember, Ix is I2 minus I4. We have I2, and I4, remember, is negative 2. So Ix is negative 53 over 31 plus 2, which works out to be 0.2903 amperes, correct to 4 significant figures, or 4 decimal places. So that's it. Ix in the original circuit is around 290 milliamperes. Could you figure it out?